I'm doing the McNeil Sally. How's it going, baby? Jeff McHitz has signed a 4-year, $50 million extension to stay in Queens. I am pumped. I am juiced. This caught everyone off guard. Yes, we saw McNeil a couple days ago post on his Instagram story that he was at Citi Field. That must have meant that he was getting his physical done, because a guy that I didn't even know if he was going to be a lock to be extended by the Mets signs a team-friendly, beautiful deal at only $12.5 million AAV, average annual value. This is a phenomenal deal for the Mets. Pete Alonso is next. Absolutely. If Pete happens before the season begins too, I'll lose my mind. But guys, how's it going? Thank you guys all so much for chiming in. I really, really do appreciate it. And according to John Heyman, Jim Passon had it first. However, McNeil's deal can max out at $63.75 million, probably based on certain incentives and things like that, regardless bonuses. But regardless, this is such a good deal for the Mets. Such a good deal. I'm so happy to be here. I hope you guys are too. Again, appreciate every single one of you guys being in here. The Mets did get their guy, Jeff McNeil, signing him to this beautiful 4-year, $50 million extension. I'm going to be sharing more of my raw reactions on the deal, everything that you need to know about this. It's a 5th-year club option. Perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know that, Barry. I appreciate that. Yeah, 4 years, $50 million. The funny thing, guys, is right before we went live, I had just finished a video on McNeil and the news that he was going to be signing extensions soon, as the reports first came out earlier today. We saw, but just as I finished the video, just as I was getting ready to upload, we see the news come out that McNeil has already agreed to the extension. So he seems like he passed a physical or is barring physical. Regardless, I'm so happy. This is awesome. What a surprise. What a beautiful surprise, guys. I mean, there's nothing better than this when you get news like this out of the blue. You know, things have been hush-hush for the Mets a little bit that we've seen since the Correa thing died down. But to see this happen is great. I'm just so happy that the Mets were able to get this deal done. Again, Jeff McNeil, you guys have seen the stat line. In case you don't know, Jeff McNeil is quite literally one of the best hitters in baseball. Talk about a bounce back year. I'm going to just reiterate what I was saying in my video. I said in my video, don't be surprised if it's more of a team-friendly deal. I did not think it was going to be long. I did not even think it was going to be $100 million. I didn't. But for it to be 50 at top, 63 or so million, sign me the heck up. So 4-year deal with an option for 5. That is what we like to see, guys. Absolutely. I do see some spam. Hold on, guys. I'm going to address that in the live chat right now. Relax, guys. I'm going to put you in mute. I'm going to put you guys in timeout. And then if you guys stop acting up, then I won't put you in timeout. Then you'll be out of it. So yeah, stop with the nonsense in the chat. I get the spammy of excitement, but don't just say nonsense, because people tend to do that. Regardless, how's it going, everybody? Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button as you all are first chiming in. It really does mean a lot as we're breaking down the latest news for the Metropolitans. That yes, they have extended their hits god, the ultimate utility man. Even though he's utility, but he's playing every day. I hope that makes sense. Just because he can play everywhere, second base, corner, outfield, wherever you need to put him. Jeff McNeil signs a 4-year, $50 million deal with potential 5 years at $63+ million. And guys, make sure to smash those buttons, but also have to let you all know that today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code BELIEVE at BLEAV. That way you get yourself a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline is where the games begin. Now, folks, let's officially let the show begin. Let's get more into this. I want to see your raw reactions. Spam those buttons. I'm also going to put a poll up in a second, too, and let me know. I want to hear from you guys how you're feeling about this Jeff McNeil deal. Do you like it? Do you not? I don't see how you don't like this if you're a Mets fan at all. This is a bargain. Not that the Mets need a bargain for any deal. So the fact that they got it tells you right away and this is awesome. And again, it's okay if you guys spam. Let's get those spam. Let's spam those W's in the chat. Let's get those scrolls in the live chat. For people on replay, let me see it too. But right now, I'm going to put a poll up here in the live stream. Again, appreciate everyone being in here. Help us get to 100 likes for our first short-term goal. We're going to try to get to a couple hundred likes by the end of the live show whenever we're going to end this. Don't know how long we're going to go on with the show, but I definitely want to expand on everything you need to know about it, why this is such a win for the Mets, in my opinion, right away, and what we can expect from Jeff McNeil in the years going forward now at the age of 30. Again, a guy of his caliber, the type of player that he is, he's not someone that I think is going to age necessarily like a fine wine into his mid to late 30s. However, the type of deal that the Mets have him on is proving that, yes, this is a phenomenal move to get him until he's at the age of 34, 35, depending on how long the contract does end up playing out. But let's get a poll up here in the live chat, and then let's go from there. Let's see. And now let's get the pull up there. Awesome. Awesome. Ah, this is so good. I'm so happy for him too. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's talk about Jeff McNeil. Let's go over the numbers you see here. Literally 73 runs scored, 9 home runs, 62 RBIs, a 326 batting average, a 382 OBP, and a 454 OPS. Not OPS, slugging of around 830 plus or so OPS. He was a roughly 6 WAR winner last year with not only elite offense but elite defense. So what does a 5.9 WAR specifically means, rounding out to 6? That means that Jeff McNeil by himself was a factor, the major factor into 6 wins for the Mets last year out of their 101 win season. Okay, that's why WAR is important when you're evaluating an overall player and the qualities that he brings to a team. Himself alone brought around 6 wins to the Mets last season. And overall, throughout Jeff McNeil in his career, he has been an absolute hits god. In 2021, he declined, but so did that entire Mets offense because they were too analytically driven. They didn't have a nice balance. Rojas wasn't getting the job done. I mean, from the top down, they just were not looking good. And McNeil also dealt with a nagging hamstring injury in 2021, just like Michael Conforto. And that went in hand with his frustration. He was getting shifted a boatload more from 2020 to 2021 than 2022. He's been shifted more than ever before. And the fact that the shift is going to be gone now, guys, I can only imagine how much better this is going to make Jeff McNeil, which is absurd to say. But now that the shift is limited, we're not going to see guys, 3 defenders lining up and down the first baseline when McNeil is pulling the ball, okay? So a guy that can slap the ball to left, right, center as is, now he's going to be even better with the ability to slap it around and knowing that there's not going to be like 3 defenders in a corner of that infield going into the shallow outfield. That's going to be huge. And again, McNeil, who had a roughly 330 averages past year, to now have that ability of even more things benefiting him defensively is absurd. The offense is going to be sick. And the only thing I'm really curious about with McNeil is with this offense, let's see, he had a career high, not career high, the second most RBIs in his career last year at 62. His career high was 75 with 23 home runs back in the 2019 season. Let's see if McNeil can get to that 80 RBI plateau next season. That's something I'm curious to see if he's going to get there for sure. But let me get into it a little bit further. McNeil, throughout his career, again, a 307 average hitter, a 370 OBP guy, a 458 slug. He has a career just under 830 OPS, a phenomenal hitter. And in 2021, I mean, let's not forget, just over a year ago, guys, we thought that there was a possibility. I talked about it plenty on my channel because I cover everything about this team. So when there's positive or negative things going on, we have to discuss it. Jeff McNeil was in so much trade talk, so much rumblings a year ago, entering this past season because of things more so clubhouse related, not just the rat in the raccoon incident with there being disagreement between Lindor and McNeil and that infield again, early game in the year in 2021 against the D-backs. We all know famously, remember that game like it was yesterday, but also we've heard rumblings in entering that offseason that there are multiple people in the Mets clubhouse that didn't like what they were seeing from Jeff McNeil and his character. And the one thing that we know about McNeil is that he wears his heart on his sleeve. So when he's not performing well, he's a player that is going to show his emotion. He can't not show his emotion. It's impossible for him to not do so. So when he's really frustrated, he really got bottled up and let his anger out, yelling F-bombs down as he grounded out to first base every single time. But this year, what really stood out to me, and I think it stood out a lot to Mets fans, so let me know if you guys feel the same or are different. McNeil looked like he had his attitude in order. Yes, he showed those emotions. Yes, we've still seen the F-bombs for sure. I remember a famous F-bomb he did when he struck out in a game against the Angels because it was on Apple TV this past year, so the audio was really enhanced. You could hear anything and everything the player was saying, but that's besides the point. You saw under Buck Showalter, McNeil look as professional as ever now and really being the ultimate team player. Again, playing at second base at an elite level, playing in the corners at an elite level. It didn't matter where he was being utilized. McNeil wasn't complaining. He was doing his job and he was doing it efficiently. This was the best defensive year I feel like I've seen out of Jeff McNeil yet, which is great because he's fully in the peak of his prime right now. And hopefully we'll see more of that elite defense at second base and in the corners when needed. Because again, with Starling Marte, we all have heard the rumblings, right? Marte may not start the season on time for the Mets. Hopefully that isn't the case, but dealing with the abdominal surgery that he had, he's someone that we don't know how 100% he's going to be to start the year, that being a Marte. So in this scenario, again, where Marte is not ready to start the year, there probably will be some games where you see Jeff McNeil thrown out in right field. He's handled it before. He can handle it again. again for the times that you don't see, say, Tommy Pham in the corner due to injury or whatever. So all I know is that Jeff McNeil, he isn't only an elite bat, being the NL batting champ of the year, a silver slugger, should have been a gold glover, but again, it is what it is. Gold glove means so much now, right? When you see Juan Soto get a gold glove out of right field this past year, when Juan Soto was absolute cheeks defensively, like actually horrid, like straight up dog shit, pardon my friend. So it doesn't mean too much there, but I'm just so excited and happy for McNeil and his family, and talk about turning things around after what we saw in 2021 and entering that offseason. Time flies. It really does. And Jeff McNeil has proven that he wants to be a New York Met for at least the next 4 or 5 years during, again, the peak of his play when the Mets are in this win now stage. And I'm just so excited knowing that the Mets will have the hits god himself locked in this lineup, and that will be the least of our worries for the next 4 or 5 years. Because that was a big thing, right? We talked about it. We started to talk about it this offseason. McNeil and Alonso. These guys deserve to be extended. And again, McNeil is someone where I didn't think for certain that he would be extended, not because of his talent. It's not lack thereof. He's a phenomenal player, but more so because McNeil's at the age of 30 already. His body is likely not going to age great as he gets from 35 plus. So the idea of extending him on like a DJ LeMahieu type deal was not enticing for me personally. It just wasn't something that I think would benefit the Mets in the end. However, at the same time, the fact that the Mets were able to get him on such a team-friendly deal, I don't see how you cannot love this deal if you're a Mets fan. Even a baseball fan, as long as you don't hate the Mets, you're probably looking at this and are like, wow, this is a nice deal. This is a very good deal. And that's exactly how I feel with the Mets locking up McNeil on this contract. So let me see if there's any latest reports. But before I do, again, shout out to everyone in the live chat. Continue smashing that like and subscribe button. Really does mean a lot, folks. Help us get to a couple hundred likes before we get to the end of the live show. Again, we're going to be live for a bit longer still, so don't worry. Shout out to all my members here, my live members here in the show, and shout out to just all my overall viewers. Really does mean a lot. Make sure to let me see your thoughts in the chat. And also, guys, want to let you know that not this week, unfortunately, but next week, I am eyeing during a live stream, we will be doing a jersey giveaway of Kodai Senga or Justin Verlander. It'll be happening during one of the live streams next week, so stay tuned for that one. I'll try to keep you guys as up to date on it as possible, so that way you make sure you join. And I'm going to just be picking one random live viewer that I see a comment I click on, and hopefully that is in fact one of you guys that gets excited on picking a Senga or a Verlander jersey, and then we'll go from there. So the giveaway's been long overdue from when we did the hit 20,000 subscribers on the channel. It really got pushed because of the crazy stuff going on for like a month. But next week, rest assured, we are definitely going to try to get that jersey giveaway done. Shout out to you, Grant. Phenomenal friend of mine, but also phenomenal Mets Twitter page. Make sure to check him out at Jenny Mets on Twitter with over 50,000 followers. What a beauty he is. Appreciate you being in here. But let me just check on something real quick, and then we'll go further here with the show. Again, breaking news for everybody. First chiming in, Jeff McHitz is staying in Queens for at minimum another 4 years, 5 years. And for those wondering too, okay, the Mets and McNeil were $1.3 million apart in arbitration. Going to arbitration now. He was the lone player to looking like he was going to arbitration. This is why they got the extension done. They don't have to worry about arbitration. I'd imagine that this goes in hand. This buys out his final year of arbitration. This is awesome. So happy for McNeil. And now let's see again what's going to happen with him and the Mets for the years ensuing going forward. But let me see. I did see a tweet that I did want to address. So bear with me 1 second, everybody. Again, breaking news. The Mets keep their guy, that being in Jeff McNeil, on a multi-year deal. $50 million, I'm sure, will be guaranteed. And then possibility of $63+ million if he does, in fact, have that 50-year option. Okay, so this was from Michael Marino on Twitter. Shout out to you, Michael. He tweets the following just now. I want to share with you guys. Michael Marino says that, yes, in recent weeks, Mets felt a Jeff McNeil extension was a lot more attainable than a Pete Alonso extension before the 2023 season. And now that they have their extension with Jeff, have gotten the sense that the Mets think a Pete Alonso extension before 2023 is an uphill battle. Again, I'm not too surprised. Thankfully, Alonso is not a free agent until the 2025 offseason, so there's still time there. But Marino went on to say that still sides will work to see if they can find a common ground, but probability says it likely ends up being a discussion to be had after the season, assuming they can't make it work before the season. again, would I love Alonso to be extended prior to the season beginning this year? Yes. But at the same time, if it does look like it's going to be more difficult than what the Mets were hoping for right away, they can play it out another year. As long as the Mets extend Alonso before he hits free agency, expected 2 years from now, that's really all that matters to me. But of course, I'm someone that's in heavy favor of an Alonso extension as soon as humanly possible. So we'll see when that's going to happen. But thankfully, the Mets at least got one of the two guys now and McNeil on such a good team-friendly deal. I can't say enough good things about this contract with the Mets, and it shows you how much he wants to be here. Because naturally, McNeil, if he waited to hit the free agent market for the 2025 offseason, there's potential that he could get more than this for sure. Because I mean, he just got the same amount of money that Ben Zobrist got from, what was it, the Cubs, when it was already in his mid to late 30s. So I really think it comes down to McNeil knowing how his body is and knowing where he wants to be. Taking that hometown discount at around $12.5 million is awesome. And hopefully we see more of this. Us Mets fans, one thing that we've noticed a lot, and I'm sure many of you can agree, is the Atlanta Braves are a team that have been phenomenal in extending their young talent. I know McNeil isn't a Michael Harris II or, Austin Riley in the sense of younger and as good for what their peaks are expected to be. But the point is that it's nice to see the Mets finally get an extension done for one of their top players on a team-friendly deal with multiple years left before he was expected to hit the market. And hopefully this will be a trickle-down effect that we see more of in the years going forward with not only Pete Alonso, but the Francisco Alvarezes, the Brett Beattys potentially, as long as they're still on this team and not dealt, right? Like, those are the guys that we want to see next up, okay? We want to extend these guys as soon as possible. The Mets getting this deal done as soon as they did is phenomenal, and I'd expect more to come to it. I really do. 4 years, $50 million of potential of a third year based on a certain option and upwards of $63 million. I mean, that's chump change for Steve Cohen and the Mets. It just tells you a McNeil that wants to be here, and it just feels damn good to say. It really, really does. I couldn't be happier to see this transpire. I'm sure many of you Mets fans can agree. I bet if I look in the poll right now, which I'm going to do, and again, shout out all you guys, help us get 200 likes for the next short-term goal, and the live show really does mean a lot. Continue smashing those buttons. Let's see, we're already at $1.40. Really, really does mean a lot. And we'll probably wrap up the show, I'd imagine, in the next 20 minutes or so. We won't go crazy long, but I will cut off things probably around the 20 to 25 minute mark. Actually, I'll do it right now for people on replay. For everyone on replay, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below on McNeil in this move. How do you feel about it personally? Let me hear it all. Thank you so much. As always, let's go Mets, baby. Make sure to smash those buttons. Let me know your thoughts. And for everyone in the live chat, we're going to continue answering your comments, getting all that fun stuff. But for people on replay, I don't want to drag this on too long or repeat myself too much. So let me hear your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.